podcast, Learning, Leading Now, where we talk all things education and all things Mobile County Public Schools. I am your host, Renee Phillips, joined by our co-host, Asha Staples.
I was going to say good morning, good afternoon. It's been a long day.
It's one of those that you think it's still the morning and you look at the watch and you're like, whoa, it's 2 o'clock. Yeah. And our special guest is Bri Davis.
Yes,
from
hello.
the Family Center. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. And so we are getting back in the swing of things, right?
Yes, it's definitely full swing for the school year, and we've been super busy, but it's been good. I love seeing the kiddos back in class, so they're learning some cool things this year.
There's excitement. Mm-hmm. There's still a little bit of getting into the routine. As a parent, I'll admit I'm still getting into the routine.
Yeah.
But
and you got a high schooler now.
Yeah. We're in high school mode. Well, the parking lot drop-off is interesting because I always have to remember these are kids that just started driving, so be very careful as you're in the parking lot. But it's been great. He's so excited about it. Now, it breaks the mom heart when you drop him off at high school for the first time, and he has a ride home every day, and he's trying to make his own. He actually told me he's wanting to bring his own lunch, so he makes his own lunch every evening. He's been making some wraps, so he's growing up.
Responsibility. I like it.
I know. And he loves it. Like he just thinks he's grown now.
Yeah.
And you know,
he's a little adult. He's a teenager.
He's getting there.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so that routine though, it was funny yesterday. He came in and he was just like, I'm tired. I need a power nap before we get started on anything. So he went and took his like little 15-minute nap and was good to go.
It's so funny how kids do not ever want to sleep because they'll miss something. And then now that they're in like school actually doing things, they like will go to bed on time. They will take naps. I got 2 in kindergarten right now. And
Fun.
They don't do naps anymore. So like, you know, the after school pictures are like, ugh, dead tired.
Do they come home and crash probably?
Not really. They're boys. So they're just, they're on 10 until you tell them to go lay down. But they've adjusted pretty well to kindergarten. They're doing pretty good. They're excited to be back in school, and they feel like they're a big kid now that they're in like actual class. So,
yeah, well they are.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah. So it's good.
I always say there's a special place in heaven for kindergarten teachers because what they can do, because they get kids from all different developmental stages and they get them all reading at the end of the year, and it's just and some of them, bless their hearts, they're still learning how to walk in a line like they've not been in a school before, and it's better now that we have more pre-K, but and then some classes too, they're fun to watch when they're teaching them how to cut with scissors.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. They have one of their assignments last week was learning to cut and paste, and so it's funny to see all the little different like cut images and stuff. But I went to a kindergarten class earlier this week at Sam's Elementary, and the teacher, she's known for her ukulele, and she brings it out and they sing songs, and the kids, like, it's funny to see her round them up and get them settled. And I'm like, I could not do this every day with this many kids every day. And her patience was just, she's so gentle and soft-spoken. I'm like, oh, God bless you, girl.
They work magic. They really, I have so much respect for teachers and in the pre-K classrooms too, when they're in there and they're just, they can say things and all the kids listen up or get in the circle or go to their.
I love watching videos on that. It's just so crazy.
Yeah, hers was, hey class, and they say, yes. I'm like, y'all are like military babies. It's so cute.
My other favorite ones, they say when they get something right in school and they say kiss your brain.
Oh,
and they all like kiss their brain.
That's cute. See, I remember the pat your back.
Yeah. Very similar. But it's just, it makes it fun. And I think that's what's neat. Like my kids, they love to learn. And I'm glad. I don't want them to lose that. My 7th grader is taking German. And so he just wants to speak German a lot now. And so he's yelling as I was leaving for high school with the other one, bis später, auf Wiedersehen, ich liebe dich, you know, and you're like, okay, yay. That's the only words I know.
I was going to say, didn't you live there? So you probably can go back and forth with him a little bit?
So I lived there for 6 years, but I was young. And so I need to learn the actual language. Like pretty much what he's learned in the first 3 weeks is all I know.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have to do like Duolingo. Yeah. Because the funny thing is my high schoolers taking German too. So I think that they're conspiring. So they have their own little secret language. So my husband and I are both going to have to get on the Duolingo.
Talk about you.
Yeah. That's what I think. So I need to just act like I'm not, like I need to take Duolingo and act like I'm not taking it and just surprise him one day. So, but yeah,
That's
you
hilarious.
think you outsmarted us, but yeah, so fun. Like I love that they love learning. And he just tried out for Scholars Bowl and made it. So he was so excited to get some questions right. But yeah, it's been this excitement. I know I got to go out to Sims Middle School near the elementary school, and they have this LOTC program, which is a leadership officers training group. And so that's brand new to the district. We're the first school system in the state to have it. So that's exciting.
The turnout was pretty good. I know
Yeah.
that they were launching it. We talked about it over the summer. So they have students that are enrolled. That's good.
Yeah. Like being the first of anything, it's kind of, it's hard to start something new and get people to enroll in it. But once you start it and other kids see that, oh, this looks
Right,
cool. Can I enroll in it?
Yeah.
And the coolest thing is it counts as a PE credit.
Yes.
So I'd be like, sign me up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They
that's
don't have to go
awesome.
outside and be sweaty and stuff. But
Yeah.
I definitely like that program. I was talking to Colonel Barrows about it, and he's very enthusiastic, as we know, about all of the things that they have to offer. So
Oh, yeah.
those few schools that we have to kind of kickstart everything is pretty good.
Yeah. It's like 7 or 8 schools first in Alabama. We're going to expand it. So very, very cool. And you went to a cooking class.
I did. Ella Grant, one of my chef friends, has a catering business, and so he goes over there and teaches them how to cook and little basic things. So yesterday was our first day back since the school year started. They learned sanitation, proper hand washing, and the 5 food categories, food groups, and place setting. So they're learning like small etiquette stuff and then also small cooking things. So I know,
Safety.
yeah, the first class that I went to last year, he started it last year, they were how to make proper salads and having different vegetables and nutritional facts and such. So it's pretty fun.
That's good.
I
There's
think the kids just want to go there to eat, so I don't really know if they're really
yeah.
taking the
Right.
lessons. They
the kids
just
like
wanna
to
eat food.
they like to cook too.
Yeah, they do.
And,
They
yeah,
do.
to feel like they're big kids.
Because our the
Yeah.
twins, I made brownies with them last weekend, and they were like, "I want to crack the egg," and I'm like, "Okay, I want you to be so excited about cooking," but of course the whole egg just splattered everywhere. But he had a ball cracking an egg in the brownies. I'm just cringing inside.
It's like you have to let go and let them mess up so
Yeah,
they learn, and that's so
yes.
hard
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
And then maybe like my 9th grader makes his own spaghetti sauce, so you never know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need one of y'all's leftover plates, by the way. I'm gonna try that out.
It's pretty good. So, but yeah, one day. Bri, tell us about the Family Center. You're one of our partners.
Yes, so I'm the school program coordinator at the Family Center. And so we do a lot of different things within the school and then just for the parents and the families that are in the schools too. So some of the different things that we do, we offer some parenting classes. We also have a program in 2 schools right now. It's called the FACT program, and that's the Family Assistance Through Community Ties. So we really are just there to get any type of referrals for families who may be experiencing like homelessness or if a house fire goes on or just anything like that. And so we're in 2 schools right now helping out with that. And so hopefully we'll expand maybe one day, but we're going to see how that goes. But then the parenting classes, so we have one that focuses on like absenteeism and truancy. And so those are all the parenting classes will be starting in September. But we're really excited about the Preparing Our Students class because we're implementing it differently this school year. So we're really excited about that. And so we met with Kurt Belson and the other attendance officers about how we're going to do it. And so they're super excited.
Awesome.
That's good. So a parenting class sounds interesting because I remember when we were in the hospital getting ready to take our baby home, we thought, oh, now
Yeah.
what? Like,
Right.
We're leaving with a baby. Now what? How do we take care of it?
what do we do? And so some people may feel that way, right? So you're there
Oh,
to
yeah,
help them,
absolutely.
especially as they're going through the school age with their
Yes.
children. So what do y'all teach them in there?
So we mainly focus on like child behavior. And so we have 2 different classes for different age groups, like one's for 10 and under, then one's for 10 and up. And we just talk about how to like communicate with your children effectively and like making them feel like they're being heard and how we need to appropriately talk to them and things like that, and how to appropriately guide them and discipline them and provide that structure for them, and whether it's in school and at home. And we also talk about how to communicate within the schools and to the children's teachers, because sometimes that can be a really big thing too. And we see when parents are communicating with the school and with their child's teacher that their grades are improving as well.
And what I've always heard too is you have to talk to them when they're young so that you can talk to them when they're older too.
Yes, exactly.
And develop those relationships with them,
Yeah.
that trust, right?
Yes, we're really building that trust and also building that, like we were talking about earlier, like their own self-independence. And so they don't just learn that on their own. And so by teaching the parents how to appropriately demonstrate their own self-independence and their own structure that they have in their lives, that's able for the kids to model their parents. So that's why we kind of focus more on the parenting skills that they're implementing at home than just focusing on the children. Well, we are focusing on the kids, obviously.
Yeah.
But we're teaching the parents how to help them and their families.
Right. So they model that behavior so their children
Right.
will follow it.
Right. Yeah.
So when they see you cooking, they're gonna model it, right?
Yeah, I usually am screaming to get out of the kitchen. Let me, because you're just stepping on little feet. And right now,
Right.
we're in a small space waiting to move, and it's just like, can you leave me alone for a second?
Right.
But yes.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah, you will. As they get older, it'll
Yeah.
be more different, like different things. Like besides the eggs, it'll be more. But yeah, but just listening to your student too. And do you give them any guidance on like asking them about their day at school too?
Yeah,
or?
we have a lot of different, it's like very intervention based. So the parents have activities that they have to complete and like give examples from their own lives about how they would handle situations and how they will handle them in the future after taking our parenting classes. And so we really focus on like, instead of yelling and all the other things, maybe let's try this and see how this works out and see if we can get a better reaction, and making the parents like understand what it means to be open with your kids and like allowing them to feel like you are a safe space so they can come to you about anything and things like that.
Because one thing I've read too is apologizing to your child when you mess up.
Yes, that's a really big thing
mess
that we
up.
go over.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so we do like an approach that's like, instead of getting angry at our kids for doing something, it's like, this is how this situation makes me feel. This is what you did. Now, can we talk about it, and maybe we can do it at a different approach? Maybe next time, why don't you try doing this instead of this, because it made me really upset.
And I don't think people realize the dynamic of like child parent. Like if I'm a first time mom, I'm doing this for the first time, and then you're new to the world. So like I'm having to like work with you. So it's like,
Right.
You're meeting me for the first time, I'm meeting you, and we're like different people. So like that dynamic is definitely different. But I'm interested to hear about how like parents, are they ever timid to come to you guys and say, I don't really know what I'm doing, versus I've got all the answers? Like, how do you approach a parent to be able to help them and know that you're a resource and, you know, you have all these tools to be able to better parent versus
Right.
figuring it out day to day, or kind of going off of how you were raised, so you just kind of model that
Right.
type of thing?
So we get both types of parents, ones who thinks that they like have everything down, and other ones that are just like, I have no idea what's going on. And it's kind of different with both of them, because some of them, they'll come to us asking for advice, and then the other ones who come to us, they're like, I think I have everything down, but like, this is what's going on. We really just kind of approach it like, and especially like when we're telling parents, we'll call them and we'll explain our parenting classes. They kind of get scared at the sight or the sound of like
Or
parenting
offended,
classes.
I
They
yeah.
definitely get like
Yeah.
so offended.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not what it means. Like, it's really just resources and talking about how parenting and the different like techniques and everything has just changed. And it's really just an informational based, educational based. And when we teach our classes, we're like, these are our resources that we have. You can take them, make them your own. Every family is different. Like some things, this isn't just a like 1, 2, 3 step to parenting, because every kid is going to be different. But it's more of just like a general overview, just saying these are some things that that parents have found to work within their home. We're going to give you those tips and resources. You do with them what you please. And then they're really like, oh, okay, like, we'll take the class and just see what you're talking about. And so then it's more like they feel more open and trustworthy with us, and it makes the class just run so much smoother. But they come home, because we do have classes. This one, the Preparing Our Students class, is only one time, but then our other classes are a 10-week course. And so throughout the week, everybody just gets more open and more trusting. And so they'll come in and tell us stories of like, I tried this week and it worked. Like, it's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
And hearing all these success stories. And it's just awesome the way that they do it at home.
And these are they free classes?
Yeah, they're
How
all
does that work?
free.
Oh, wow.
And we also provide parent guidebooks to anybody that attends the classes. And then you'll get a certificate at the end if you ever like need it, whether you're having to deal with court or anything like that, then we offer those as well too.
Oh, okay.
Because parenting is hard.
It is hard. And especially like a lot of people don't feel like they have a support system. And so our classes are really based around this is the parents that are all in that class together. It's like, they're going through the same things as you. Like, everybody's struggling. It's not just you. You're not a bad parent. There's just a lot into it, and they just don't realize that. And so they create their own support group within the classes.
And sometimes it's hard because if you work or stay home with your child, but then you get them back from school and you have this limited amount of time, you've got to do homework, you've got to cook dinner, you've got to, make sure that they are taking showers.
Right.
My boys, like, one loves to, one I have to remind. I won't say which is which. But but there's all this busyness that we have. And then if they're doing any type of sports or activities. And so I think that's just adding to the stress.
Oh, 100%.
Isn't it? Do y'all see that with the parents?
Yes, 100%. And that's one thing. That's one of the many things that we focus on too. It's like, sometimes as parents, we just have to, like, step back and take a break and just breathe for a second, and then make sure that we're putting in that time with our children and just spending that one-on-one time with them, because it can be overwhelming, especially like adulthood. You have kids running around worrying about baseball, basketball practice, taking them to school, homework, and by the time, you're going to bed, the day's over with. Yeah. And it's like, I haven't even talked to her today. So it's really focusing on, like, taking time out of your day to schedule your children in, to really just sit down and talk to them and just see how they're going.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I'm actually a bonus parent, I'll say. They're not mine by blood, but I have to remind my boyfriend that he works all the time. I'm like, you got to cut it off, because you have about maybe 4 hours from the time you're in carpool to cooking dinner to making sure homework's done to bath time to now they're into, can you read us a story? Like, you need to be able to set that time apart so that they know that, okay, we're at dad's house and we get this attention and we're not just shoved in front of a TV or an iPad or something. So having that time to be able to unwind with your kids and cut out work. Super, super important. It's definitely changed, because you can definitely tell that they like all about attention and affection, and they want that quality time. So it's important.
Yeah. Put down your phone and look each other in the eyes.
Yes.
That's easier said than done.
It is. And for the kids too, they love their tablets, their television, their games, everything like that too. And so, like, making sure that the kids are taking time with their parents too, because they can go both ways.
Yeah. Hang out with me.
Right. Like,
I definitely do that. Yeah, come cuddle me. Let's talk.
Yeah. Hang out with me or I'll embarrass you in car line tomorrow, right?
Definitely. So how also have you seen, I guess, well, you mentioned the other program you guys do is with the attendance, and you guys are implementing something kind of intervention, as you mentioned, to try to make sure kids are in schools. But do you guys know, or have you seen so far, of what, like, the main thing is why kids are missing school? Is there some type of answer to that, or y'all don't really know yet?
From last year's data, I just was introduced to this program because we had somebody else here previously. But from what I've seen with our data and stuff like that, it's mainly, it can either be, we've seen, like, just sickness and stuff, and they've run out of, like, doctors' excuses that they can provide. We've seen problems in transportation, and we've just seen problems with parents getting their kids to school, whether it's transportation, the parents sleeping in, the kids sleeping in, just any and all those different things. And it's different within each feeder pattern too, because the schools are different and the way that the houses are and everything like that. But so far this year, the attendance is looking a lot better. So I knock on some wood. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we have 4 different classes a month. Well, we have up to 4 classes a month with this one class that we are teaching. And so we'll be sending out emails and all the things for parents to see, and they can sign up for the classes if they would like. And then we'll see how it goes.
Because you have to be at school to learn,
right,
and to be successful.
Right.
And I know Asha's getting ready to launch a attendance campaign, and it's just important, isn't it?
Yeah.
The number of absences, there's just studies shown, I don't know the numbers, but the more days you're absent, the less likely you are to be successful in school.
100%.
And so the new program, and talk about the intervention side, each of the attendance officers are supposed to, when they're submitting those absences, you try to catch it early. So a certain amount of absences, they're automatically shot to you guys as a resource to be able to figure out what the problem is and figure out how to get the kid in the class.
Yeah, so we're really the first program or intervention when it comes to absenteeism and truancy. So we get the referrals when students have 4 unexcused absences. And then once they get 5, they go to early truancy warning, and then just so on and so forth from there. So we're really trying to catch it as early as possible, get them in the class. Like, these are your resources that we have found that work. Like if you implement them in your home and with your children, we really do see improvement in attendance. So we really just want them to learn and see how this can positively affect them and their family before anything else happens.
Because one thing that when this came up this summer with our truancies, we point out you get up to 8 parent notes, and then you get unlimited doctor notes, and then you have the excused absences. So one thing that we want to stress too is if your child is absent, write a note as to why, so it will be excused. And sometimes, like for me, I'll shoot an email to the teachers that say, my son's absent today, he's got a fever, please send us any work. Because that's one thing with Schoology, we are making it easier to do your homework and some of your work if you have to miss it, if you're well enough. Like if you're spiking a fever and you can barely get out of bed, it's hard to do your work. But just how important it is to have that parent send in a note to the school and then to make up that work, because that's one thing. And I was reading all the syllabuses for my middle schooler and high schooler. You have so many days to make up the work.
Yeah.
And it's if you build up a lot of absences, that's going to get harder and harder.
Right, because the thing with missing school and absenteeism is like it's not just missing a day of work, like necessarily because you're missing knowledge and being in the classroom and hearing your teacher teach, and you're getting behind on all your work, which eventually it does add up. And I mean, before you know it, the report card has failing grades on it just from missing school so much. And because it every day goes on to the next day, and so it just keeps rolling over. And so if you miss one lesson, now you're behind almost a whole week, depending on the grade that you're in. And it can be very, very challenging for children, especially if they don't have self-discipline to get it done when they're at home or do their homework like they're supposed to be doing to get caught up. Then, I mean, it's just a spiral, and we just keep seeing it happening.
So do y'all have classes for students also? Because I'm thinking, as you said, that kids that are maybe in middle school, high school, maybe they can get some resources and some training if their parents in the class too, of how they can step up to help their parent be a better parent by taking some of that responsibility as well.
So we don't have any classes for students at this moment, but hopefully we'll get some in the future. And I think that we don't, the Family Center doesn't, but I think that there are some resources in the community that help teach students how to do that as well.
Okay.
And just as a parent, letting go and letting them do some of their own work and chores at home, and just having them report to you. I was so excited. We got a new expo board in our kitchen. And so we got new markers, new boards. So we're trying to write everything on it, getting into that routine.
Yeah.
And so, everyone has a different color. It's color coded. That's not going to last. Like this is the August exciting expo board, right? On Monday, we're doing this. This is what we're having for dinner. So-and-so has a test. So-and-so has this. But because that's important to communicate the schedules too, and for everybody to, be ready for what's coming up the next school day, right?
Yeah, it is really important. And that's another thing that we focus on in our preparing our students' classes is communicating with your children, communicating with the teachers. Like we talk about a homework log and a homework assignment log. That's between the parents, the student, and the teacher. And now we're on like Schoology, and we have like online programs as well that the school systems are using. And so we kind of teach the parents how to use those and how to write an appropriate email to teachers when something's wrong instead of calling up there and, because it can just be overwhelming. And so we really focus on how we can appropriately communicate to everyone and to really get things going, how we need to get them going.
What's it like to see those success stories?
It's really awesome because some of the parents will come in and they're really hesitant and really standoffish, and then we give them all the resources and stuff, and as the weeks go on, we just see them keep coming in, and they're just a little bit more happier that each time that they come in, and then eventually they're like, this is what happened, like it really did work. And it's like you see this awe on their face, like, oh my gosh, like I didn't believe you, but I really tried it and it's really working. And it's just like, that's great. Like, I'm so happy that you're using it. Like, what else can we do for you? And so it's just really cool to see the parents really using it in their homes and see how it works within their family, because every family's different. So it's like, how did you use it? Like, what did you say? And all the things to really know, like, okay, well, this worked for this type of kid and this type of parent and stuff like that. And it's just seeing how that dynamic works between all of them, because everybody's story is different.
I bet that is hard because you have kids. I mean, they all have their different personalities. So one, you have the parent a little bit different than the other, but then they're looking like, well, why didn't you yell at this one? It's like, because we know you're going to do it. He just needs a little bit more discipline and push. So it's like hard switching those dynamics also.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because they can be so different.
They are.
Yes.
And then depending on the day, they can be different from how they were last week.
Exactly. So it's never a one solution to all problems. It's like you always have to like stay on your toes and adapt to the problem and really take a step back and not get overwhelmed by it, because it's so overwhelming. I mean, you just want to pull your hair out sometimes with kids, and especially like with school and behaviors and everything like that. And so really taking a step back and teaching parents how to like self-control and not get super upset. Like they make their own decisions. We can't always control them and things like that. And so really teaching them how, like, okay, well, this is what he did, and so now how are we gonna approach it?
That is important. So you're talking about planning. What do you prefer, a paper planner or digital planner?
I do both, honestly. But I mean, I think with school and everything like that, I think it's easier to do the digital planners, because I have my little iPad and my pen because I'm still in college. And so I'll just write it down, and if I accidentally write something wrong, all I gotta do is press the erase button and erase it. And so I really like the online aspect of it, and because I can carry it everywhere instead of having to carry around like a little planner notebook. But I like to use both of them because I remember things better when I write it with a pencil and paper.
Asha, what do you prefer?
I'm kind of both. I think, I'm trying to think, because I'll start off really good. Like for this month, got my new little desk calendar, and I wrote down things that I knew was coming up. But then like it's also easier if I get an email and I'm on my work phone and I can just plug it in the calendar that way. And then now like August is pretty much blank now for the past like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I use my digital.
You use your digital. You have every intention.
And then also because you'll get a notification about you having something today. So like if I open my email, it'll say this is going on today. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So then you get those
and that's
reminders.
how we communicate at work is a lot with calendar invites and that sort of thing. Because that was one thing with my middle schooler. It was, I want the paper copy and he likes the digital. So sometimes it's speaking their love language, right?
Right.
Or I like to doodle in a planner and cross things off with a pen.
Yeah.
That's just
Feel
fun.
like you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and we're trying to teach the kids how to do that because some of the schools and the classes will emphasize that. Like write all your homework down, write things down.
Yeah, and that's why like we have the homework log that comes with our parent guide, and it's a physical copy, and you can make more copies of it if you need it. But then it just comes with like the child bringing it to school, getting the teacher to sign it, and it's just like a whole hassle. But although like we could have the risk of them losing it or saying that they're not bringing it home, we're creating that self-discipline in them and that self-independence in that child and teaching them how to keep up with their things,
to manage their own
and
time.
know what's going on. Yeah, it's a really big like skill for them to learn.
Time management's a lifetime skill.
Yes,
so
it
how
is.
How do we reach you? Where are you available? How can parents sign up for your classes?
So we have if you just look up the Gulf Coast Family Center online, we have more information on the parenting classes on there. You can also reach us at the Parent Project at gulfcoastfamilycenter.org email address. You can just call up to the office. Our office phone numbers online on the website and everything like that.
Okay. Very easy. Everything's online.
Sounds good. And we'll post again our Schoology guide so people will know how to keep up with their kids' work on Schoology. That's all the time we have for this podcast. Thank you so much, Bri and the Family Center for supporting our kids and helping our parents. All right, we'll see you next time on Learning Leading Now.